Hey folks, Matt from artoftheimage.com. Toxic Tabasco has a great YouTube username, but also some great feedback here. This is in regards to a video I did on the Sigma 17-50 versus the Nikon 18-140. He says, perhaps I can help, Matt. I have used both, but sold the Sigma 17-50 for the Nikon 18-140. For landscape and portrait, the Nikon 18-140 will be best for several reasons. The longer reach of the Nikon will be better for shallow depth of field and compressed backgrounds. Also, the Nikon will be the best action and all-round daylight shooting lens. However, for landscape galaxy photos, you'll need a lens with a range scale for infinity focus to make infinity focus in the dark much easier. The Nikon does not have a range scale marked on the lens, which makes night focus more time-consuming and leaves more room for error. For galaxy night photos, I use the Tokina 12-28 f4 and the Tamron 28-75 f2.8 for all my super low light shooting with the D7100. You can see the results of these lenses on my Flickr and YouTube channel. The Sigma will do galaxy photos but lacks the reach of the Nikon. After over a year with the Sigma, I decided to go with the longer reach of the Nikon over the f2.8 advantage of the Sigma. So that's an interesting feedback, user review, experience from Toxic Tabasco. It's kind of a little different than from what I say that well, maybe not, because I like both those lenses. The 18-140 is a really good performing lens, but it fits a different niche than the Sigma 17-50 f2.8. If I'm shooting events, I want the Sigma 17-50 f2.8 because I want the f2.8 and I want the image stabilized f2.8 indoors. If I'm using a walk-around lens or an outdoor lens, then I would tend to agree with Toxic Tabasco here that the 18-140 in good light, I would rather have the range. So it's kind of a trade-off there, and it just depends what you're using it for. You know, in other words, horses for courses. So I don't really disagree with anything he's saying here, but for the stuff I shoot most of the time, I would go with probably the Sigma 17-50, and I would still probably prefer the f2.8 aperture of the Sigma 17-50 for shallow depth of field for portraits, more so than I would the 18-140 for the long end for compressed backgrounds, as Toxic is saying. But what do you guys think? Would you be more of a 17-50 or a Nikon 18-140? Do you agree with what Toxic's saying here, that, you know, he, for his uses, he preferred the Nikon 18-140? Which way do you guys go? Leave your comments below. Let's talk about it some more. These are both very good lenses. And again, just depends on what you're using them for. So actually, in your comments, let us know what you're shooting so that we can understand why it works for you and see if that applies to our uses or whoever's looking at it in terms of buying it, what they might be shooting. Thanks, Toxic. Always great to have your feedback. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.